Hi everybody, it's Kathy here, and I am joining in with Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, and it's Friday, so it means we're using a fashion pin to inspire us, and this is the one that I've chosen to do my layout today. So I am also doing a bit of a challenge where I was challenged to use some ugly papers, and these ones really are not my favourites, but I will use them and create a layout, and we will see how that turns out. I am gutting this one because I want it as a frame, but I'm also going to use it on the layout as well as part of the feature. Now this paper here is an old Kaisercraft one. I do like that side, but I would never use it probably. That's why it's been sitting in my stash for years. And this wood on the outside is really not very, it probably has its place for layouts, but I still had no idea. But the pin had a wooden frame around the overalls with the chickens and ducks and things on it, so it ties in with that pin. So I took that wood grain as an inspiration for that paper. Now I'm using a circle out of this patterned paper, which is also another colour that was on the overalls. And then I'm going to mat my photos on this paper here. These come in a pad of paper, and sometimes, you know, when you get a pad of paper, there are pages in there that you just know you're never going to use. So matting the photos on them is a great way of using them up, or turning them over and using the white side is another option, or gifting them to someone else who may be able to use them is always a third option. But today I decided that I'm going to, because of the brown and a little bit of the pink there that will pick up in the photos, I decided I would use this one as a matting component of my layout. So I'm using it to do my 3 photos. Now these photos are of me, of course. That was also another component of the challenge, to focus on you. And then I am distressing the edges to give it that rustic feel like the pin had with the rustic wooden frame, and I wanted to just add that little bit of extra texture to it. I really do like texture on my layouts, and when you do scuff up your paper with the distress tools, you will get that paper residual, and just a matter of picking it up and putting it in the bin so it's not in everything on your layout. So I've drawn the circle on this side because I'm contemplating whether I want to cut out a circle of it behind the one that I'm going to put down and utilise it on the other side in that pattern. Now I will put it onto the frame first, and then you will see that I decide that yes, I am going to cut out a circle of it because I do need it to lift that background. It is an interesting wood texture. It looks like it belongs in one of those decorative doors or something. I'm not sure, a door panel or something like that. But anyway, I will cover most of it, but it will give that hint of the wood grain through. And this is where I decide that yes, I will use a circle of it on the front. So in the space that I traced around, I'm taking out a smaller shape of the circle, and I'm going to use that side to add some contrast to the front. So I'm just going to scuff up the edge here, and you'll see that I play with this a little bit to get it correct. At first I thought I'd just do the 2 circles, and so I put it down into place. I'm going to put down this big one, and I'm just putting down a bit of glue around the edges just to make sure that it stays in place and firm and doesn't move once I put it down. I did the double-sided tape will do that, but over time it may shift. So I just wanted to make sure that it is anchored. Then I'm going to put down this circle here, and I thought maybe I would just have the one circle. So that's why you'll see I'll put it down in place, in whole, and then you'll see that I changed my mind, as always, because I can't make up my mind. I just had no real concept of how this was going to go. I was going to put in like a banner, fishtail banner across it. I was going to put in another circle. I really wasn't sure how this was going to work out. So I'm lifting that one again, and I'm actually going to halve it, and then that will allow me to put it into 2 places on the layout. And you'll see that happen in a moment here. So I'm just moving those photos around because I just want to have the right configuration for the embellishments I want to include. Now, this paper that I've turned over onto the other side, you'll see the blue in it, which is part of the overall denim pattern from the fashion pin that I used to inspire, but also it picks up the blue in the top that I'm wearing so that it carries over the colour formation for the layout. Now, that photo is not straight, so I'm just straightening it up, as you can see. Sometimes when you cut, I don't know what happens. Maybe it's the pattern or something that throws it off, but anyhow, when I trimmed that pattern down, it hadn't been straight, but it is now. So I'm putting that there, and I'm still contemplating this bottom corner, and I'm thinking at this stage that I'm not going to do a banner as such. I'm going to do another half circle, and I'm going to put it in down at the bottom there. So I'm going to cut it in this green, and I'm going to rough it up, and I'm going to put that down in that bottom corner because it was just looking a little bit too bare for me, and I like to see balance in my layouts. As I said, when I started this layout, I had no idea what I was doing with it because the paper was really not paper I would be normally working with. It was a little bit odd in colour combination, and I just wanted it to blend nicely. But because the photos that I'm using, that works pretty well with the background in the photos and also with the whole concept of this country feel. So I'm calling this page No Spring Chicken, and it's a bit of a pun on myself, but also because it is from the Easter show. So when we went to the Easter show this year, I was taking photos with the animals, and of course I have no chicken animal photos, so no spring chicken. So it has a double innuendo on this layout. Another part of the challenge that I was entering into, it said that we had to use swaps from our group from the Girls Down Under, and I've used the two chickens there that were made by Sharon Bishop, and they're being incorporated. Now, at the very end, I realised that I can't actually use this in the challenge because I haven't put the word me into my title anywhere. Photos are obviously me. The concept is obviously around me, but there's no word me, so therefore I can't use it. But that's okay. I'm happy with the first turnout in the end. So I went and I cut with the brown paper that I matted my photos, 3 circles, and then I found some scrap with the red and white spot in it that matches the comb that Sharon used for the chickens. So I was able to use those. I didn't want my cut files of the duck, the turkey and the goat to just be flat on the layout. So that's bringing the circles in across the layout as well and picking up that circular pattern in that wood grain. So the curlicue is there, and so it's carrying that whole theme of circles across the layout. And I'm just sticking down the pieces. I didn't pop up anything on this layout yet because it is quite textured and it is layered quite a lot. But I am going to pop up the chickens because I think they need to come up off the bottom. So thanks, Sharon, for the chickens. They're very cool. I like them and they fit perfectly on this layout. And I am going to put the 2 chickens there in the middle so that I have the top left and the bottom right corner free of anything, and that balances the layout perfectly. Now, I am sorry about the reflective glare on that top photo. I didn't realise it was so bad. That's just because it's nighttime and I'm working and it's very dark. So I'm just popping in some faux stitching here that you can see just to lift those circles a little and add a little bit more detail because I'm doodling onto the layout, putting in some faux stitching. And it's always nice to add a little bit of extra when you're doing a layout. I'm now going to use my white here on the darker circle just to add the faux stitching and to draw in a messy border. Now, white pens either work really well or they don't. I have a terrible time with white markers. I think it's to do with the pigment in it and the paper that it's going on to, the absorbency. I don't know about you. Do you have trouble with white pens? If you have a really good white pen, can you let me know in the comments below? I really would love a pen that worked regardless of the surface area that it was working on. I'm really looking for one. I used to use Uniball all the time and the Signos, but they seem to not be working as well as they used to. I don't know, has anybody found a great white marker pen that they can use and it always comes out brilliantly opaquely white? I'd be really, really keen to know about it. Just adding in here that it was at the Easter show and it was this year, and that's pretty much my layout. Now I do have some word stickers that I want to add in here just to add a little bit more about positivity statements about myself and about life, just to capture a little bit more essence onto the page. And I really do like how this turned out. Now I can honestly say at the beginning I was umming and ahhing whether it was going to turn out okay. I had no idea, like I said, how I wanted it to be. I just knew that I needed to use those papers and I wanted to incorporate it. So it just goes to show that even with papers that you consider to be ugly or not the best or not the prettiest or not ones that you would normally select as your go-to range of papers, you can actually come together with something quite decent. And I do like the cute little cutouts, the cut files. They make a little bit of a cute fun pun on the layout. So this is how my one has come together. I'm just adding in Nuvo drops here onto the circles. They will set up that visual triangle and allow for the eye to roam around the layout quite naturally. Even though the triangle is already established with those red circles, I just wanted to add in my Nuvo drops because you know me, more is best always. And I actually do like how it turned out. It turned out way better than I thought it was going to. This is a Pinterest-inspired one for fashion. I used the fashion pin that I showed you at the beginning. Just goes to show that when you go on Pinterest, you can find so many different things to inspire you creatively. Down below is the full playlist linked. Go and check out what everybody else has been doing. There is a massive amount of inspiration for you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Give me a thumbs up, lets YouTube know you like my content and it pushes it out further. Have a great week scrapping. Happy scrapping, everybody. Here's my next video for you and I'll see you real soon.